A room with a view of the whole city. Fashion luxury, that's what he's got pretty.
Cologne Airport, I've already made some videos there. Cologne Bonn Airport, it's underground. Nightmarish. These are really conditions that I could not have imagined to be so shocking. There are 3 parts to it. I have evaluated the entire airport, then I evaluated the security, and now I want to address the lounge at Cologne Airport. And I would say that within this airport, which is more like a train station waiting area, the lounge is the train station mission of this airport. So you walk in, and then you really think you are in a train station mission. First of all, regarding the food, the quality, and especially the cleanliness. Do you know what? They only have 1 toilet, and that is a urinal for men who stand. 5 men are waiting for one to finish peeing. That's how it starts. Seriously? The other toilet, well, it's usually occupied. And if I now imagine that it were a gender-neutral toilet, then I don't know, the woman would wait until I stand there and have finished peeing so that she can then go into her toilet. Yes, and then in between someone comes along who has a disability and is in a wheelchair, and he also doesn't know what to do. So no one is really interested in anything anymore. And that is the description of the lounge at Cologne Airport, which I would call a train station mission. And I don't mean this in a bad way. I just mean it because it is the reality. This is the reality. This is how it looks. There are really nice employees who speak Spanish, and there are somehow dedicated employees among them. This also somehow brought me joy again. That was a little highlight. Because, of course, when certain guests are present who can also be difficult, there was a family with 2 children who were terribly loud and simply poorly behaved. Yes, that is related to it, you can already tell, Usand. And of course that annoys the staff as well, not just us guests. And then there was this eye contact with one of the staff members, and he looked at me, and I did this, and he said, "It's not over, now we have to rise above it, let's leave it as it is." And I mean, the point is that we get into a lounge here where people with a priority pass, well, not for free, but at a discounted rate, can enter for free on the day they go in with the pass. Then one must still, if someone pays, that person pays $35 and $30 up to $40. It's definitely not worth it. Really, not worth it at all. I would rather sit outside somewhere where there's a Kölsch beer and eat a burger or a pretzel. You get more out of it and it's cheaper than going to the lounge. It's subpar. And then, in the end, it also comes down to the fact that the entire Star Alliance is all included there. And then there are, of course, times when you think that no one can fit in at all. This means you also have to wait, and there's no guarantee that you will actually get in there, in this train station mission. And yes, as far as the food is concerned and the chairs, it really caught my eye. They are actually exactly the old chairs and benches and stuff from Frost Hansa that are just sitting there. This is really, they haven't changed anything at all. That means they just left everything as it is, this old worn-out furniture. And instead of writing Lufthansa Business Lounge outside, they just put up a sign that says it's now the lounge. Yes, and they are making it private. And then everyone who goes in there can drink water. There is, and we shouldn't speak negatively about it, vodka, there are alcoholic beverages, and there is also a beer, a wheat beer in a bottle. So everything is there. But the food quality, that's like this, you go into this lounge, so like I say, a train station mission, and when you get home, you have diarrhea. Seriously, because cleanliness? Oh God, child. And I'm also talking about the toilet. So all of that is underground and dramatic, just like the entire airport. So if one had to describe Cologne Airport, I would say that Cologne Airport is a train station hall with a train station mission called the Lounge in a completely built-up, absurd maze where you, yes, if you're lucky, can depart with your airline. That is how I would describe the entire concept of this airport. And this lounge is just, yes, you have a lot of seats, you sit there close together. When I passed through with their loud vehicle, and I really had such a funny experience there as well, again with this one staff member who then just drove through and everything started ringing. That means these glasses were too close together, and then they had issues with the tires. So those things that make it move, it's not really right with rubber, but it just does. And then the phone rang, and then he came like that, and then he smiled, and I smiled, and Santa Claus is coming to the lounge. Then he laughed himself to death because it was really like Santa Claus was coming, and he should have put on a little hat. I think everything is funny. That's actually the drama of it. So that's why I'm glad that I want to avoid these things as much as possible in the future and not visit them at all. And I know many have written, if you were in Hamburg, go to Cologne, it's really underground. You were right. So, the Cologne airport, and especially this lounge, it's really something I could not have imagined could be so bad. This is also one of the worst lounges. It is worse than the Hamburg airport lounge and has no friendly, helpful staff. But everything else is, in my opinion, the train station mission of Cologne Airport, an absolute no-go.
Above the clouds, the HON flies. Every destination brings joy to his eyes. He knows the best hotels, the best